Lex.
Hi, Mandy.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, actually. Really enjoying and cruising through this retrograde energy. We've been putting in like hard work and like showing up for ourselves and in certain groups, and I feel like the energy is starting to shift, and I'm feeling like good about it, and I'm feeling like I'm seeing things manifest. And we have an awesome discussion for today that we want to jump into. And if you're watching, hello, thank you for being here. Feel free to like, share, follow, drop a comment. This is Unschooled, where we talk about all the things we wish we learned in school, but we didn't, or the things we maybe want to relearn that we maybe learned the wrong way. So, Lex, do you want to share a little bit about our topic today?
I do, because our topic today is abundance and the forms of abundance. I feel like one of my biggest issues, I always believed that abundance was just money, like just physical money, just that. When truly there's so many forms of abundance. And there's 5 forms of abundance that we just shared during our soul circle last night. And it's been a theme coming up in our shadow twerk classes. And we've just been seeing it as a theme with our clients, our friends, and ourselves. And so some of these, I just feel like we take for granted and we don't even realize that it's an actual form of abundance. And when we bring our awareness to the fact that these are forms of abundance, it makes it easier to step in to abundance, right? And the law of abundance states that when you believe that the universe, that there is enough love, money, health, wealth, happiness, and success in the universe, that there's enough for everybody, then you will call it in and align and the abundance will flow. So it's a belief mindset thing. And when you bring your awareness to these things, it's amazing how the synchronicities line up for us. And that's the first form of abundance we wanted to talk about is synchronicities, because there's so many times we see these things like synchronized and we're like, our primal brain is like, no, it wants to rationalize and try to like dismiss the fact that it is some beautiful message, that it is a beautiful form of abundance. And when we get those signs, when you see those angel numbers, when you get those tingles, when you have those divine moments where it's just like, I was just wanting this and you received, you asked and you received, or somebody comes into your life and it fills you up, or you have those experiences that light you, oop, oop, blur, light you up.
You're here. You're all right.
Okay, cool. The retrograde does seem to mess with my technology.
Like glitch.
Slight glitch. So, Mandy, what do you want to add about synchronicities?
I think what you said, like they're very underrated. And I feel like synchronicities are an opportunity for the universe, the angels, your ancestors, your higher self, the higher be, whatever you want to call it. An opportunity to have a dance and a discussion and a moving prayer. It's an opportunity to get communication for thoughts you're having, feelings you're having, things like that coming in. And they're so underrated. And we want these big, huge signs when really most of our signs are coming in the subtle senses that we're working and exercising at that time. And so many times we'll dismiss it or ignore it. And, and even just say, like, it's just so fun. It moves, it does. Rebecca Campbell calls it like a walking prayer or a living prayer, but like your life really becomes it. And like even earlier, I was thinking about something, and as soon as I thought about it, the song that was on said the same exact thing. And I'm like, all right, heard, thanks, guys. Like, confirmation, I got it. And like, you can't make it up. Like, you just can't. And you feel it through you, and it resonates, and it feels amazing. And when we can notice those synchronicities and then give such gratitude, things become limitless for us. We get to really start stepping in and dancing and being like rewarded, and so many awesome things come in.
Well, you're the one that taught me to, when I do see them, to be like, thank you, angels, thank you, universe, right? And to give that gratitude on the spot. And just that practice alone helps you, when you recognize it, give gratitude. It's just like you get a warm spirit from hug. It just that those tingles, you get those body tingles, and it follows. And you're literally elevating your frequency when you do this, which is just attracting more abundance, more synchronicities, and all forms of abundance. So when you're noticing it in one area, you are still working on the attraction in all the other areas with that. So, and let's go on to number 2, imagination, your free will to think freely, to imaginate, to dream, to have your own thoughts is abundance, right? To not have to have controlled thoughts, that's a true form of abundance. What do you think, Mandy?
I do. I think that so much of our lives are spent being like controlled by what we were programmed to believe. Lex, when you're not talking, will you hit mute? Because I think we're getting a little feedback, but I just want to try that out. Okay, I hear less feedback. I don't know if it was live, but either way, it's Mercury retrograde. We're working with the technical stuff. What was the question again?
It was the second form of abundance, imagination, the free will to think freely. And
Got you. Yep. So, with that, like so many of us are just programmed throughout our lives to think a way, to feel a way. We operate often on guilt, shame, criticism, or fear. These really like lower vibrations that keep us bound and keep us from taking a chance or taking a step or diving into something that might be cool or interesting for us, or feel in alignment for us because there's fear there, there's other things. And so much of the suffering that we experience is created in our own minds. It's our own thoughts. It's going back to something that happened in the past that's no longer there, that often other people aren't even thinking about, or there's just nothing we can do at this time, and it takes away from our presence. And so when we can allow ourselves to get more present and to open things up, then all of a sudden we can experience more freedom in our minds. And we can have amazing abundant thoughts of I am prosperous, I'm loved, I'm safe, I'm feeling good, like I'm worthy. All these things can start to come in. And it's not in alignment and you don't really believe it when you first start saying it. Like it's really hard to look in yourself and be like, yeah, I love myself. And you're like, no, I don't. And then you start going over all the things you're shitty about. And those are your opportunities to do some inventory and to clear out some mental clutter, to see what's truly true. And if you want to keep subscribing to that same belief that you keep telling yourself, like you're calling yourself stupid every day, but you're really not, like, why? Why are you doing that? Why are you letting that come up for you? So I think that that's invaluable. And it's an incredible form of abundance when you can move into that in your mind.
yeah, and we need to be using our imagination in order to manifest. Our imagination is one of our biggest tools and powers in creating our manifestations and calling it in. Because when you start to think about it and feel it and truly believe it and visualize it as if you already have it, that is when you're doing your manifestation. That's abundance right there. The ability to dream in what you truly want, to dream it in and feel it and put yourself in that. So have fun with that. This is permission to dream. This is the permission to allow yourself the freedom to go within your own mind, and freely create, right? And so, number 3, communication. The abundance of being able to speak our truths. And I feel like we take that so for granted when there are like, if you look back and you look around, how many places do not have the free will to speak, and how long it's taken us to truly actually be able to freely speak. Back in the day, it'd be off with your head if you said anything bad about your ruler, your whoever was in charge. So communication. Mandee, what do you have to say about communication as a form of abundance?
Hey, Sophia, so glad you're here. I think the ability to communicate, number one, for me personally, like I literally had a vocal cord dysfunction and I had to go to speech therapy for 6 months and learn how to speak again and take breaths while speaking again and breathe while exercising and so many different things. And I had taken for granted, my ability to communicate at that time. And so much came in for that with me. The power of our words, the intention of our words, the opportunity to say something. And like you said, in many past lives, we weren't allowed to say shit. And in times in certain places here on earth still, that's still the case. And so at the same time, Rebecca Campbell again always says there's never been a safer time to share or speak our truths. And I do agree with that. And so I think that we're finding our balance with it. I think that your word and your voice, whether it's written or spoken, has the power to move mountains, make memories, create history, herstory, whatever you want to call it. Like it has that capacity to leave an imprint. Lexi and I love reading and learning that way. And we both have like ADD and we read like 8 books at one time and go through all kinds of stuff and like constantly. And I just can't even imagine not having the freedom. And even like during quarantine and all that stuff, I thought, well, if things go crazy and the power goes out, or who knows, at least I have a whole bookcase full of stuff to keep me focused, to keep me learning, to keep me expanding. And so when it comes to healthy communication, especially, like we've talked a lot about this in our current Shadows Work class, we're using the 4 agreements as a basis. And there's several agreements in the 4 agreements. And one of them is to be impeccable with your word, the first agreement. And it's speak with integrity, only say what you mean, avoid using word speak against yourself or gossip about others. Use the power of your word to offer love and never use it to cause fear or pain in yourself or one another. And so I feel like that's a gift and an opportunity too. There's so many times you want to react. It's important to, of course, honor yourself and protect yourself. But a lot of the times you feel like shitty after you engage in a fight or something you don't want to be in. And so anytime there's healthy communication or an opportunity for that, it's amazing. And Sophia commented, she said, speaking your truth and speaking through your traumas can be a fine line. It's so true. It's so true. And there's an art of practicing discernment. And I always try to say, like, is it true? Is it kind? And is it necessary? And like, there is an opportunity to express, your trauma. Maybe that situation wasn't kind, but you can explain what happened in a kind way. And if it's necessary to move forward, to create closure, to create healing, to share information with a partner, because it's how you're reacting to something and you're working on it, but you need to be honest about it. There's so many opportunities there. And then Sophia also said, gossip is a big lesson for me. Glad we are talking about this. Oh, it's hard because especially women, we were trained to gossip. Like, it's hard not to. Like, everybody, oh, well, how's so-and-so doing? Oh, well, let me call grandma and check in and see what's going on with her. And then she'll tell all this other stuff. And gossip, like, there's a difference. I feel like it's okay to kind of sometimes share, good news, healthy news. Like, oh, Sophia and the kids are well. Thanks for asking. Like, simple things like that is really nice. But then when it's like, oh, she did this and that and blah, 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 and this is happening, it can quickly turn into gossip. And it's also important when you do have feelings and things are coming up to have a safe place, a safe zone, a safe area to talk about that with. Maybe it's your inner circle. I have a badass, amazing inner circle. They'll call me out on my shit, vice versa. They'll support me and they'll help me see truths that I don't always see too when I do share with them. And a lot of times it's not coming from a place of ego. It's coming from a place of genuine like hurt or confusion or something like that. And so gossip is something we're naturally called to bond on at this time because of how we were all raised in different communities and different things. And it was something I noticed first, like in church as a kid, was like, or I really first started noticing that energy. And there are ways, like I said, to do, like to share in positive ways. And it doesn't mean you can't speak of anyone else's existence, but saying things more vaguely or, not giving intimate details that, things like that. And just saying, or, if everybody knows, okay, so-and-so struggling right now. I have a friend who lost a husband and, people know that she's probably going through something. I'll be like, yep, she's going through it. And, it hasn't been the easiest, but we're sending her a lot of love. Things like that. It's okay. It's nice to do that. But when you get into certain details, like, oh, well, she did this or that, or this behavior is happening, then it gets a little borderline. So I always think like with gossip details, I'm like, what's going on there? What kind of things could we bring in? Lexi, are you with us or did we lose you? I feel like we lost our Lexi. But she'll be back. She always pops back in. So welcome. So glad you're here. Oh, here comes Lex. We'll let her back on in. Oh, now we have 2 Lexis. This is fun and very Mercury retrograde. We'll see what's happening. Sophia also made another comment and said, it's all about the intention behind the conversation for sure. Because I think like, sometimes truth has to be spoken or stories have to be told so healing and closure can happen. And that doesn't always have to be like a, hello, we're getting some random stuff here. All right. And so the thing is, it's about intention. It's about your integrity. And then there's opportunities for healing, for growing, for learning, and letting yourself like express your truth. So I'm glad we're bringing this all up, and it is all about intention, and that's what's going on. So we have poor Lexi trying to hop on, and two different StreamYard possibilities right now.
I have no idea what's going on over here.
I hear you though. What's our next one?
Our next one is being given gifts.
Ooh, being given gifts. I love
And,
that one.
and the thing with this is we sometimes think of gifts as material things only. And there's like the gift of love, support, unconditional, like an ear to listen to, the gift of lessons, being thankful for those hard lessons too, and realize that those are gifts.
You know, I think they call, of Course in Miracles calls a miracle a change in perception or perspective. And like that can be, as Sophia said, truth bombs are a gift. That can be one of the biggest gifts that we can receive. Knowledge, power, ability to do things. Like we just look at it often as receiving material goods, but so many times it's actually about calling in and receiving. And one of the best ways you can practice that is like accepting compliments. One thing I learned from Dr. Northrup is like we're really good, especially women, but people in general are really good at not accepting a compliment, not saying thank you. They're like, oh, I like your dress. So immediately you discount it, or your shirt or something. Oh, thanks. I got it, on sale for $2 at wherever. And we automatically like take away the energy that's being sent to us. And it's an opportunity to tell the universe we're ready to receive. We're ready to call it in. We're ready to say thank you. And so saying thank you for the signs and then saying thank you too when different things like compliments come in, it's an opportunity to learn how to accept. I'm flipping through my Dr. Northrup book because I know she's got a good little blurb on it, but it's an opportunity to really accept with the universe and to sign in and to say like, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to receive. I'd like this. Thank you so much. So if somebody says, hey, thank you for doing that, you're welcome. Not, oh, it was nothing. I didn't mean to. I didn't have anything going on. You're welcome. Oh, your dress is so cute. Thank you. You, are an incredible worker, and I really appreciate the job you did. Thank you very much. I worked hard on it. Things like that, and allowing yourself to start receiving is an opportunity to really balance out that gift giving. What do you think, Lex? Lexi Lou, did we lose you? I think we lost her again. But here we go. I found the page that I wanted to find. So this is from one of my favorite resources and books for Unschooled, Dr. Northrup, Making Life Easy. And in this, she has a section that says Receiving 101. Thank goodness receiving is actually a learnable skill and a very worthwhile one. Being able to receive leads to a much more fulfilling life with more delight and joy than you might imagine possible. Getting started is super simple. All you have to do is accept compliments, just like we were talking about. When someone says, oh, I love your dress, your response should be thank you. That's it, just thank you. Do not say, I got it for $5 at Goodwill. That downgrades the compliment and devalues the gift that you just received. Those were the words I was looking for, devaluing, because that energy all of a sudden it's like a ping pong ball. Someone's trying to like, here, I love you. Here's some abundance. Here's some opportunity to like jump on in and to be here to give you something. And right away you're like, oh, thanks, but no. And you send it right back. And so it's like a ping pong ball a lot of the time when we do that. That's one of the words I was looking for, was that downgrades the compliment and devalues the gift that you just received. Also resist the urge to return a compliment by saying something like, oh, I like yours too. You don't have to give something back when you are complimented. By simply saying thank you, you have graciously received a compliment, and you are slowly but surely getting on the path of being comfortable with receiving. An interesting thing will happen when you start to simply accept compliments. First, you are apt to feel uncomfortable and even vulnerable because you are out of practice. So when you notice that you're feeling uncomfortable, say to yourself, I love you. That uncomfortable part of you needs more love, not less. So even though it can be uncomfortable receiving compliments, starting to move into this energy, tell yourself I love you in your heart and mind when it's happening. Do your best not to devalue it or give something else right back or whatever it is. Just let yourself receive and see how that goes. See how that feels. It can be weird at first, right, Lex?
It's so, I feel like when our group really started focusing on this, there was like a period where we were like, no, thank you. I'm not going to, it was just so awkward. but it gets easier. And I feel like I have this same with money. Like, you know what I mean? When I get paid for things, it still feels, I have a hard time accepting like certain forms of payment and gifts. It's like, no, not me getting put on the spot, but really it's somebody sending you love and it's an energy. So learning to accept that and just embrace it, right? So our last one on our list of 5 today is having something to trade, share, or give. And that's our knowledge, right? Our experience, our love, our support. I feel like so many times we do not believe that when we share our story, we share the things that we've overcome, the challenges that we've gone through, that we think that that is not possible to help somebody through doing that. And most of the time, that is one of the biggest gifts that you can give, is letting somebody know they're not alone and sharing your story for others. So Mandee, what would you like to say?
I love that. I agree. And I love this conversation, this discussion, these opportunities, because when you allow yourself to really look at all the different forms of abundance and gifts in your life, like it's amazing what can come in. Sophia agrees. She said, sharing stories. Yes, it's amazing how we move each other through things as a collective. Agreed. We're all in this race together. Alone really means all one. The reason we resonate with humans and storytelling is because we're out there for connection. Even last night, I was watching a video of whales, and they were waved like there was a person, a scuba diver, waving at them, and like 3 of them rolled over and waved back. And I'm like, this is so cool. Like we're all just trying to communicate in the most amazing ways that we can. And a lot of times, our human experience, we overcomplicate it and we get a little bit too much. But when we allow ourselves to just be and get vulnerable, especially at Sea Goddess Healing Arts, we believe a healer is someone who triggers within you the ability to heal yourself. We believe the only person who can heal you is you. All we can do is share our stories, what worked for us, and give you our tools. And that's about it. And let you know, oh no, the work never ends. You still got to show up. Life's still going to happen. Things are still going to exist, but we've got to, keep on going and integrally. And so I love this conversation and bringing attention to all the different forms of abundance and what they can do for us.
Yeah, and the fact that just holding space, being able to hold space for other people is a form of abundance. So you may not be feeling rich in, receiving abundance, but we are rich in, the abundance we have and hold within our lives. And so that's been life-changing to me, to be able to realize that the bank account really doesn't matter. But when I look around at all the other things, I am now constantly finding abundance in ways that I never realized was true abundance. And then it's been bringing in just more abundance. It's amazing.
How cool is that? And just little things. Even last night at Soul Circle, we were talking about decluttering and making space, and we talked about a lot of stuff. This was a very light corner of it, but I had realized even just like doing my to-do list last week, I was like doing my Sea Goddess to-do list, and I had different things coming up, and I was like banging stuff off. And I've had this intention of starting 2 new podcasts coming soon for a while. And 2 of my best friends who I'm going to do them with they reached out to me yesterday. I created the space by doing my to-do list. I barely did anything. And then all of a sudden, both of them on the same day, well, we've been like talking about this for like a year. We're like, all right, ready to do this. Let's go. Let's like make some plans. And I'm like, look at that. All because I did my to-do list and I got my things done. So when we create space, when we move things around energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in all the different ways, we create even more abundance and opportunities to see that. Sophia said, it can be hard to hold space for me when someone is in victim mentality, but that's only because, hold on. It can be hard to hold space for me when someone is in a victim mentality, but that's only because that's something I'm trying to get over right now in myself. Oh yeah, girl, been there, done that. Hard. Still do it at times. And what happens is, as you ascend, as you release your own victim mentality, you can hold the space in the sense of like, I used to be there. I used to do that. I was like a prisoner. This is what worked for me. This is how I got out of it. And then you can also have healthy boundaries and not show up the same way. There's some people you can talk to and it just doesn't go anywhere. And you're talking to a brick wall. And that's when you're like, okay, can I just accept that this person is a victim right now? This is where their consciousness is. This is where they want to be. And like things happen for us to become victims. There's trauma there. We've all been there. We all sat there. And so it's so important to have compassion, have grace, but then also have healthy boundaries, because a lot of times when people are stuck in victim mentality, they're very caught in the past and they're not in the present moment at all. And they're bringing up all these old feelings and all these old things that don't exist. And when you're trying to vibrate in more presence and truth, it can feel like nails on a chalkboard sometimes, or the frequency can feel really rough. So it's so important to do your best to just have healthy boundaries, to send love, to hold space. And if it's not feeling good to spend time with that person, it's okay to not spend as much time, or to say, hey, I love you. Let's get together next week. Or, you know what, I'm really focusing on this. And sometimes, like, I don't know, my best friends and I, my best friends and I, like, I'm so lucky. I have such great friends. But like, we feel each other. We telepath. We talk on the phone maybe once a month, every other month. Then we have like an epic visit for a few days. Like, and then all of a sudden you're something, or you just know, or something will happen. And like, if I get a call from my best friend, I'm like, oh, something's up. I better answer the phone. Like, and it's not a day by day, play by play. It's not about, it's different. So we all have different relationships and different energies and different ways, but a lot of times we can get attached to each other, to situations, to experiences, and to those feelings. And so when it comes to holding that kind of space, it's important to first do inventory on yourself, where you're at in your own journey, what you're calling in. Second, how to have healthy communication around it, because no one wants to be, treated like crap or whatever it is. And then also it's important to, honor, like I actually kind of goes back to the first one, really honor your own energy and what comes in with that. And Sophia said that's a good boundary. It's hard to help when you help solve a problem for them and then they come up with another. Oh yeah, totally. And that's acceptance. And think of them as, we're all wounded children, and like, how many times do we have to let kids learn to figure it out their own way? Adults actually need that even more. And we don't realize that a lot of the time, or they'll come to us to save them or things like that. And what's happening is, and one of my favorite Louise Hay affirmations is, all diets work and everything's possible, and there are unlimited solutions to everything. And so even if it's not that way, but you put that intention out there, maybe it gave them the spark they needed to go and start solving it in their own way. And also do your best to just keep having those healthy boundaries, and try not to have attachment whether it's a book we write in the world, or an art piece, or we're showing up for a job, or we give an idea. That's it. It's off to the universe, off to the angels, off to whatever's happening. Matt Frazier, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate you being here. We at Sea Goddess Healing Arts, we don't reach out to people directly for readings, and we find that to be a little invasive. And we feel like anybody who's doing spiritual readings, they're going to reach out to you. They're going to ask you. All of our favorite teachers, guides, healers, people out there, they always say, this isn't me. And so many people are hacking and impersonating and don't even know. And every teacher I know would never go after somebody intentionally like that. So we always like to use this as a learning moment. And, you're welcome to keep learning from us and hang by. But thank you so much for stopping by. And we're going to stop. His profile picture looks like he should have been on Love is Blind or something. You could be, that could not even be you. So thanks for stopping by. Sending big love. All right.
That's a Matt Frazier impersonator for sure.
Yeah. Who knows? Could be a robot. So either way, teachable moment. So yeah, that's what I got on all that. What about you, Lex?
No, I couldn't agree more with everything you just said. And yeah. I guess I want to share. Can I share one card before we leave?
I was going to say, we're going to wrap up soon, and we're Sea Goddess Healing Arts. I'm Mandy. This is Lexi. We're both wearing tie-dye in honor of one of our earth angels, or heaven angels now, Leah, who it's her birthday today, and she had passed last summer. And so we are grateful to be celebrating her today and having her energy around, and wore tie-dye in honor of her. So big love to our angel, Leah. And then, yes, Lex, what you got, girl?
Addicted to inner peace. Look at that tie-dye. Leah comes through.
It matches your shirt too.
I know. How crazy is that? Get your quick fix. Addicted to inner peace. And I love that because, abundance, inner peace is another form of abundance, I really think. Being able to feel that inner peace. So perfect message for this sundown. Mandy, do you have a card to share?
Yeah, well, I wasn't planning on it, but now I do. Roses. This is the Rose Oracle from Rebecca Campbell. Roses, what would you like to pass along most today for Unschooled for our final message? I'm going to read from the book for this one. This is really good. The Rose Garden. Innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. In Shadow Work today, we did a bunch of inner child healing as well as spirit healing, and a lot of stuff came in. And I think right now, while we talk about healthy communication and boundaries and forms of abundance, to give yourself an opportunity for forgiveness. So this is the Rose Garden card from the Rose Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. Innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. You're holy and whole. You're innocent and innately good. You're wholly welcome here. You never got kicked out of the garden. None of us did. This card delivers a message of welcomeness, of returning to our innocence. If you feel you've done something wrong without knowing what you've done, if you feel ashamed about hurting someone, if you're finding it hard to forgive yourself, this card is gently calling you to release any shame, guilt, or bad feelings. Do what you need to do to let go and to make amends. Remember that you're a human, and that you're a human who's going to grow and learn. So is everyone else. You're not broken. You never were. You're a work in progress. We all are. You're learning and unlearning. We all are. Be gentle on yourself, and in turn, be gentle with others. Return to your humanity, your humanness, and remember that you were not perfect, and no human being is, and being a human isn't about perfection. Grow and learn, but do it softly. You have goodness in you. Remember that. Cherish that. And cherish that in others too. We're all doing the best that we can. We came to learn. When we learn, we can choose to do something new. Commit to learning and doing better each and every day. This is what it means to be human, to embrace our humanness. Without it, we deny the shadow, and through it, facing the shadow, and through facing the shadows without defense, that we can learn and grow. Embrace your humanity, and you'll find it easier to embrace others and the whole world. Soul inquiry: how can you be more gentle with yourself? So big love. Thank you so much, Psychic Sensation and Mars Intuitive, for stopping by. We believe that if someone wants a reading with you, they will come to you and they will ask you. And we appreciate you coming on in and stopping by. And we're going to ask you to leave now. And Sophia said that she loves that. Thank you so much, Sophia. I'm glad you enjoyed that. And yes, that was from Rebecca Campbell's Rose Oracle deck, and she's got the words. She's got the words. She's got the love. She knows what's happening there. And so every now and then I like to read one of her cards because I think it's just such beautiful channel divine work that resonates with so many of us. So if you don't have this deck, get out there and get it, the Rose Oracle deck. And yes, we are on SeaGoddessHealingArts.com. Please give us a like, a share, a follow. We appreciate you. We love you. We're grateful for you. And we have lots of things coming up. We've got Goddesses in Recovery. Is that this week or next week, Lex?
This Sunday at 3:33 p.m.
This Sunday, 3:33 p.m. Lexi leads a Goddesses in Recovery group. It's for people who are in recovery or support people who are in recovery and just want some love and support around that. It's very loose and very loving and an opportunity to heal and grow. We have a pop-up astrology class coming up with Ursula. We've got a drum circle on Friday. We're vending this weekend at the Crops Farmers Market. And we have all kinds of cool things coming up. So please give us a like, share, a follow. Yes, we're going to be releasing our Tuesday Tarot class. Is going to be coming back in May, so that'll be fun. And yeah, I don't know, endless things. So check us out. We appreciate you. Ursula, our amazing goo at Sea Goddess, and our astrologist and aromatherapist. She just keeps everything together and so nice and does such a great job on our website and on the maintenance of it. So it's always up to date, and it's easy to find whatever it is you're looking for. So thank you so much. And thank you, Lexi.
Thank you, Mandy. And thank you, everybody, for joining us and listening.
Yeah. Big love. We'll chat soon. Bye-bye.